I guess we'll just give everybody a couple minutes to hop on here. Katie's already been on here and asked questions, so that's good. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Wow. Okay, here we go. Samita, yeah, you don't just take a picture, just a regular old picture. I'm not worried about you bringing their real, true test birth certificate. I think that's left over from when the previous guys did it. So if they have a school ID or something like that, but if you're showing up with them, then you're good to go. Um, all right, so I'll jump into those questions just a second. Just so you guys know, my name is Jason Chance. I am guess I'm the race director for the Great Chesapeake Bay Swim. Took over a couple years ago and hopefully have made this a little bit better. But um, the whole purpose of tonight is not for us to go step by step through the swimmer guide because you guys have the swimmer guide. So the purpose of tonight is for us to talk about some basics and then for you to ask any kind of questions. So right at the bat, like Katie asked, are there any other food or beverage options that are available, or is it just Libby's? So every swimmer gets a Subway sub from our friends at March of Dimes. They bring those in. They're actually going to bring some in the morning for the 1 milers, and then they're going to turn around and bring them in for fresh ones for the 4.4s. Um, so last year, Libby's brought out a beer truck, a beer wagon. We're trying to find out what beers they have, how much they're going to be, that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, it isn't one of those like you get a free beer when you finish yet. Throw those suggestions out because we're always listening to suggestions. So, let's see. So Lisa says hi. Hi, Lisa. Jada, how close are the starting points and finish points for the 1 mile? You talking about if you're talking about distance, um, they're they're very close. There's actually a map at the very bottom. If you go to baseswim.com and you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a map and it shows like I think the first one's like 700 yards, the second's like 700, and then it's like 650 to come back. Um, if you're asking me about time, the amount of time, so we're probably going to do it in about 3 minutes or so. So one of the things we do, the timing lines are down at the bottom, right at the water's edge. So what we do for the 1 mile is one, you're self-seated. So if you're fast, you want to be in wave one. So we're going to put 100 people down there. Everybody's going to walk down. You're going to get in about, knee deep water, that kind of thing. And then you get what's called a gunshot start. So a gunshot start means that at 10:30 we say go. And the first wave will start swimming. As soon as we say go, we're going to wait about 60 seconds just so we have a good clearance on that timeline. And then we're going to let the next group walk down and start to queue up. So what we're going to do is almost think of it like a line. We're going to say, okay, everybody from here on up, they were in wave one, give us like a 30-second pause, and then the next wave will cross over that line and we'll know that they're in wave two. So then they'll queue up down there. And as soon as we get everybody in, we'll say go. So once again, the 1 miler, great map at the bottom of baseswim.com. Just scroll all the way down and you'll see it. Um, and same for the 4.4. 4.4, we break it down like, hey, it's this far of a swim to get to the first turn buoys, and then here's mile one and mile two and mile three. um, the biggest goal for you on the 4.4 is once you get in between the bridges, you're always looking when you're breathing for one bridge. And we joke about that, but you're looking for one bridge because if you see two bridges or zero bridges, it means you're outside of the spans and you need to get your butt back in before one of our boats comes and picks you. So always be looking for one bridge when you're sighting. So JDET, I'm not sure if you're talking about closeness or if you're talking about like how fast we're going to be launching everybody. But we will have everybody launched before the first person finishes. Okay. Samita, we answered that. We swim rain or shine. Yeah, G Smith, excuse me. You're you are getting wet no matter what. So yeah, it's just us. Um, so yes, rain or shine. The only thing that would stop us is lightning or really bad wind, and we try not to say that word. So I am excited to be able to, now that we're a little bit closer. Let me pull up real quick. So guys, this is the wind forecast. Um, and as you can see, like it doesn't matter if we're doing the 1 mile or if we're doing the 4.4. We're looking at relatively, hopefully, light winds. This is not bad. This is not bad at all. See chance of precipitation, pretty low. Now, if you want to go all doomsday on me, you can find, I'm sure, a wind forecast somewhere that says it's going to blow 30 knots and we're going to lose the bridges and all that kind of stuff. But for now, this is what we're going off of. I know there's a lot of concern about the late day start. Honestly, every weekend that we've had has been goofy with wind and all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, this is what we're looking at. Okay. Um, all right. Let's see. All right, perfect. How late will the shuttles run after the 4.4? So I want to show, where's my, all right. So this is the other thing. So this is one of the pages um, that are in your um, swimmer guide. So this tells you when the on the left-hand side is for the 1 miles. So your buses will go from 9 to 10 o'clock. We'll get everybody over to Libby's. We'll get you prepped. We'll get you in the water. Um, and then your swim starts at 10:30. So it's a super easy, super quick shot over there. All of the shuttles are going to be running from Kent Island High School. Um, Kent Island High School. So the race day 4.4s, your shuttles don't start until our last 1 miler leaves. And what you guys are going to be looking for are um, colored sheets that are going to be in their windows. Okay. So those colored sheets are going to correspond to 4.4. Only 4.4 swimmers can take the shuttle over to Sandy Point. The 1 mile swimmers, we're going to get the swimmers on there first, and then there'll be some spectator shuttles as well. The really long answer to that will be um, the shuttles will be like around 6 o'clock, 6 or 6:30. So they will be running constantly all day. Once 12:30 is our last 4.4 mile shuttle, then all of our shuttles will start to cycle, and it will basically go from Libby's to Kent Island High School and back to Libby's. That'll be it. Okay. Um, let's see. Swim, rain or shine. How late will the shuttles run? Why split the wetsuiters from the have-nots at the start? Well, Mark, because it's a good split um, between who's wearing a wetsuit and who's not. And for years and years, it was, I think it was only the non-wetsuits could actually place. So everybody places. So we have 19 and under for wetsuits and 19 and under for non-wetsuits. And the way that we split them, Mark, if you haven't seen this yet, is we have two great big arches. And one of them is specifically says wetsuit. And when you cross that, you are now in the wetsuit category. And if you cross through the other one, you're in the non-wetsuit category. We will be checking the non-wetsuit, to make sure that no wetsuit goes in there and tries to get an unfair advantage. Um, if you're upset about having a split between the wetsuits and the non-wetsuits, you would be the first swimmer to be upset about that. Um, Everybody loves the fact that our wetsuits and our non-wetsuits are not competing against each other. Because let's face it, if you're wearing a wetsuit, it's an unfair advantage. So let's see. Kendall, for the water and gel boats who have advice, they are hard to see because they're smaller boats, because we can't park like a 40-foot Bertram in the middle of the span. So they're smaller and they're low to the ground, low to the water line. So the reason they're low to the water line is so that you could come up and throw your arm over it and grab some water and Gatorade. Um, if the winds permit it, I've got small buoys that they can put, like big green buoys and stuff like that. It honestly, it will be completely based on how those people feel on the boat. If they think that the water, I'm sorry, that the buoy is a detriment, then they're going to pull that buoy. Um, my recommendation would be that the buoy's right on the bow. But again, I'm not out there, so all I can do is uh, give them the product, and if they can use it, great. If they can't, typically they try to anchor the boats right smack in the middle. I have talked to people that have swam this 10, 15, 20 times, and they said that they have never, ever, ever seen a boat out there. So, but they will be at mile 2 and mile 3. Um, and there you go. Which bridge will the two boats at miles 2 and 3? Which bridge will the two boats be at with which bridge? The Chesapeake Bay Bridge, Peter. They'll be at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. They'll be between miles 2 and 3. I know I'm being a smartass. Take a look at that map at the bottom of bayswim.com. Basically where the spans are, where the two spans are, that's where you should be thinking that you're going to see a boat. Okay, and they're flat. They're like little, probably 20-foot flat bottom John boats, that kind of thing. Anthony, I saw the recommendation strongly urged to wear a swim boot. Buddy, don't do anything new. Okay. That is, I don't know where the strongly urged. I allow it, um, and I allow it because it's a safety thing. If people start to abuse it, like they start to use it like a kickboard, then maybe we'll have to reevaluate. But we're all about safety, 100% about safety. So um, if you've never used it, man, don't use it. Don't jump anything. Okay. My partner's doing the 1 mile. I'm doing the 4.4. Will I have time to see her finish? Yeah, you will. But you better keep an eye on that watch. And I'll tell you, Peter, the reason for that is um, there are going to be buses that will move from Libby's over to Kent Island High School. You're going to have to take that bus over there, then get off that bus and wait for one of the 4.4 mile bus people. And that last bus is going to take off at 12:30. And I do not recommend being on that last bus because when you get over there, we're going to be talking and get ready to go. Okay. Um, all right. Let's see. Good. Mark, that's great. Your brother's swimming for his crossing. I messed up when I sent that last email. Wow, I sent it and it was everybody wrote me what their crossing was going to be, and that's great. I love it. It means that you read my emails. But those, when we posted like on Facebook and we sent out the emails, those are for our longevity award. So we do those every 5 years, starting at 10 years. So if we see that you have 9 and you're signed up for this year's race, then we assume that you're going to finish. Hopefully, you will. Um, we assume that we're going to swim, but yeah, we assume that you're going to finish, and then we're going to have a special award for you. So, Tim Geeson, are there mile markers for the 4.4? There are. Um, there are. They will be giant 7 foot tall tetrahedrons. When I give you the course talk that morning, I will tell you exactly what color they are. Basically, there are two colors out there. There's orange and there's yellow. Um, we just have to figure out which ones we're putting where, and that's a talk with the safety fleet guys. But yes, basically, when you take off on your swim, on your initial swim, you're going to see two buoys that are going to be right on the pylons of the bridge. Those are what you're going to be aiming for. As soon as you go under it, you'll turn to the left. And the next four buoys that you see, that's all you're going to see are the mile marker buoys. There are no sighting buoys inside the spans of the bridge. And the reason for that is there's a giant bridge. So just sight off the giant bridge. Again, if you see one span, that's great. If you see two or zero, you're outside the spans and you need to get back in. Um, all right, Kendall, tides for the race. Okay. Uh, I will tell you that slack tide is at the center span an hour and a half after we initially start. So at 3 o'clock, it's slack tide in the center span. I will be 100% honest with you, Kendall. I, I don't want to talk on what Al typed up. Al has done this race dozens of times, and he knows kind of that flow a little bit better. Really take some time, sit down, read that. He's got some good drawings, like um, which side you should be kind of hugging on, and some of it's going to depend that morning on tides and the wind that we do get. But right now, the wind looks favorable and everything. Um, Katie, so and yes, Anthony, that was the Hammer Report. That is Al Gruber. He's with Arundel Breakfast Club Swimming. Great group, and they're always super helpful. So Katie asks, is there anything that I can do as a 4.4 volunteer? And the answer is yes. If your day is done and you want to jump in, we love having additional volunteers. And a lot of times those additional volunteers are taking the straps off of people's ankles or that kind of stuff. So if you see one of our staff members ask, hey, is there anything um, Oh, thank you, Anthony. Just ask and see if there's something that we need. Anthony's saying that the strongly urge was in the Hammer report. Yeah. So, and again, that is that's relatively new in the past 2 or 3 years. We allowed that, just like we changed the swim start. So, um, Jorge, okay. First time doing the swim, advice on the tides and undercurrents, especially between mile 2 and 3 and 3 and 4. Listen, the best thing that you can do, go to baseswim.com, go all the way up to the very top of the menu. There's something, it says 2024 4.4 mile crossing insight, the Hammer report. Jorge, that's going to be the best. He'll tell you, hey, based on the winds, kind of cut this way, go this way, start to the left when it makes the turn, that kind of stuff. Um, you will be good. Okay. Tim Geeson, kayaks provide drinking water for the 4.4. I will tell you that the kayaks probably have water with them, but it is probably kayak water. It's probably for them. They will not have water that they can typically give to athletes and stuff like that. Um, and part of that's going to be if you take water from them, if you're really dying, then yeah, take some. But then nobody else wants to drink after you, including the kayaker. So, yeah, these swim buoys that everybody's talking about. I know Tracy McNeil over at Crossing Currents, a lot of her team, they use them and they actually put like a camelback in the bladder area that they blow up and then they run a tube up there. Um, so so Tim, sorry. I mean, I can't promise that kayaks, if you ask one and they have some, they might give you some, but they might also say that it's theirs, which you got to completely understand that they're out there too, especially if it's going to be 80 degrees. So, I can tell you there was somebody last year at Tracy's Bay Ready Day who told us that um, when they get thirsty, they just take a big old drink of the water because it's brackish water. I do not recommend that, but you do whatever you want to do there. All right. Samita, the son's first swim, something parents always forget to bring or do. I don't know. Bring a towel. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Bring a towel. Um, and for you 1 milers, you guys will get drop bags as well. So definitely bring your stuff over there. We'll have areas for you. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab one of the drop bags. Sorry. Never mind. No, I'm not. My guys are really good and they already actually packed everything. So they are big 25-inch wide, 25-inch tall, and they're super wide. They're basically like laundry bags. So they have a pull string on the top. You can fit a normal size backpack inside of them. And our friends over at Chesapeake Bay Trust helped us out with those. So they are sponsoring those this year. They did not like the plastic bags that we had a few years ago. We did not like the plastic bags. We tried the canvas last year, and most people turned around and threw that away. I don't know if you're just angry at me because we canceled the swim, but this is a sustainable bag. This is one that you can use over and over and over again, and it's got a CBT logo on it, so that's great. So Samita, I would say bring a towel, and bring some snacks because I mean there's going to be Subway subs and stuff like that, but bring some snacks, okay? Ah, Champion Performance Physical Therapy. I have no idea. What will the traffic be like at the bridge for this time of the year, this event? So the good thing is our traffic isn't too bad coming this way on a Sunday. I would think it's not going to be too bad, but I would definitely. That's why I said don't shoot for that 12:30 shuttle. Come on over and I wish I could tell you, hey, it's going to be cool, it's going to be great. I can tell you we're talking to State Highway Association and trying to get that crazy that you can't turn right onto the Bay Bridge thing, like those times pulled away. Good thing is the worst case scenario is you would go up Route 8 and you would basically pop out at McDonald's when you're going to leave at the end of the day. Um, Sorry, and somebody asked me how late the shuttles were going to go. Yeah, there you are. Um, so they will only go till like 6 or 6:30. And then from there you would need to Uber, or I don't even know if there is an Uber on the island and that kind of stuff. So um, but yeah, I mean, shoot for 6, okay? Um, and that would be, you'll have plenty of time to finish. Chances are we're going to be doing the awards um, because it's such a long day. We may be doing the awards like as we're getting them. Um, so, and I don't mean like as you cross, we go, hey, here's your first place. I mean like it'll probably be like around our mile 3 cutoff because we'll probably be filling most of our awards by then. Um, so the good news is if you're a 1 mile swimmer, this year is completely different because normally it's like 1 mile's going on, 4.4 is going on. Sometimes you got to wait and you kind of get lost in the mix. This year, the 1 mile is going. You will be done. We have 1 mile final awards at 12:15, and honestly, we're going to go sooner if we can go sooner. Yours is just a little bit different because we're going to have 3 waves. We have to know when the first person starts, when the last person starts, know that time difference so that like somebody in wave 3 couldn't be a sleeper and smoke everybody. Okay. All right. Steven, what time do I recommend you be at Sandy Point? You will have plenty of time unless your person is the last person coming out of the water, um, to watch the 1 miler, and then go to the 4.4. I will be honest, I would make sure that you're there by like noon. I would try to be there by noon. So our partners over at March of Dimes, they're the ones that check you in. We will like around 1:15 or so. I'll give a quick course talk. I know it says 1 o'clock on there. It's 1:15 or so. Because last thing you want to do is like, you know, listen to me and then sit there for 30 minutes freaking out and asking me questions. Um, so really, and we tell everybody just hold on to your bags till around that 1 o'clock, 1:15 or so. So, and then you can take your bag over to the truck, drop your bag, so then you'll be ready. Somebody asked before, should we wear a wetsuit over there? I would not wear your wetsuit. You're gonna be sitting in neoprene, um, all that kind of time. So, Emily, 4.4, be able to get down to the water pre-race. Not only will you be able to get down to the water, you can swim all you want. You can do any any of that kind of stuff. Um, what we will do, Emily, is when we start that 1:15 briefing, we are going to pull everybody out of the water. I don't even know that we're going to turn on the timing systems until like around 1:15 or so. Like we'll test them, but we're not going to turn them on. So you can get in the water, you can warm up, you can do anything you want. Just remember you have 4.4 miles ahead of you. Um, 1 milers, kind of the same idea. You know, from 9 to 10, you'll be able to get in the water and that kind of stuff. But 1 milers, we will pull everybody back out of the water. I can tell you that. We will pull everybody out of the water because of that, like wave thing I was telling you about. So don't just say like, oh, I went in the water at 9:30, so they've already got me recorded in here. That's not going to happen. Okay, everybody's going to have to come out of the water, and then we'll announce like, hey, 100 fastest people, and we'll have an idea, basically based on times. We'll say like, hey, if you swim and here come the questions on this. If you swim a 1:15 to you know, 2 minute pace, something like that per hundred, come on up. Now your question is going to be, is that yards or meters? And my answer is going to be, uh-huh. It doesn't matter. It's so close. Um, it really is. So don't freak out. If you show up and your sign says 1:15 per 100 yards and you go, God, what's my meter time? Just get in the 1:15 if that's close to your time. It really doesn't matter. Maggie, those concerned about weather impacting the 4.4. Yeah, there's no weather. I dialed it in this time. No, I'm just kidding. Where obviously I'm sitting here watching. I just pulled up that wind, you know, the wind thing. We're looking at that. We're watching that. Um, the weather is changing. I think Sunday now is more rain. Tomorrow was supposed to be rain, and now it's nothing. Um, so yeah, if there's lightning and stuff like that, so we will make all of those calls. We'll probably make the 1 mile call at 10 o'clock. Um, you know, the 4.4. I mean, if you were there last year, you know I fight them tooth and nail. Um, to not make any calls way super ahead of time. Great thing is with the 1 mile, we have time to delay if there's something goofy that's happening. I will tell you, all of the buoys will be set when you get there. All of that will be taken care of. There will not be a panic. On the 1 mile, 1 milers, you will get a swim, barring no lightning and you know, absolutely insane wind and stuff like that. But um, okay, great. All right. So if you are like, hey, I haven't gotten any emails or anything like that from us, one thing that I want to show you real quick. Okay. So this is the athlete guide. This is baseswim.com. Ignore what this says up here. It's baseswim.com. Okay. Um, So this is the hammer report on the left-hand side. This is the report that I think it was Jose, you had asked earlier. Um, so um, Jose, you had asked earlier, Anthony, I'll get to that in 1 second. This is the report that you want to look at. Swimmer guide, obviously. So we had somebody like yell at me because at another race we did, like these links don't work because this is a picture. That's why we put this guy up here. If you click on this, it takes you to the area where you can actually click on links. So don't feverishly click on any links on these pictures because they don't go anywhere. Okay. Um, but this tab right here, 2025 emails. So these are the emails that we've sent out. You guys complained last year I sent too many emails. So this year I was like, fine, here's your swimmer guide. And then, you know, here's the top 10 questions from race week. And then here's the one about longevity awards. So, that's what you're getting. Oh, while we're right here, see this awards? where it says 70 and over. Guys, we have somebody, I think he's 90 signed up for this race. We have a couple 85s and stuff like that. We adjust all of our awards. We have adjusted all of our awards to 5-year age groups, all the way up to our oldest person. So if we have somebody who's 83 years old, the oldest age group is going to be 80 plus. If we have somebody who's 87, the oldest age group is going to be 85 plus. Okay, so Anthony, okay. So good call. The levels of rain, 24 hours. So Maryland Freedom Swim got canceled because we own that. My company does. So that got canceled. One, because of wind, but more importantly, our finish line failed. And our finish line failed because it's in this like half moon basin kind of thing. Um, Typically, we don't have the same issues with Freedom Swim, or I'm sorry, with the Bay Swim that we do with Freedom Swim because it flushes twice a day, every day. The entire bay flushes. So we will do water quality testing, but we're not seeing the levels of rain. Like we're not seeing this insane rain coming in. So Anthony, I don't think that we would have any kind of issues like we did for Freedom Swim. Yeah, Caroline was probably there. Last year from her comment. Yeah, I will wait and I will fight, and I was fighting and fighting, and then our kayakers started flipping over, and that was bad. So I know that was a concern for people. We fixed that, but we fixed that so much that people are like, "Hey, I still want a kayak," or "Hey, I want to kayak with my dad." And unfortunately, we can't have any one-on-one kayakers, and our kayak team is full. It's completely full, and all of the folks are vetted. They have been through training. They know how to rescue. They know if their kayak gets flipped, all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, so we are full up on super experienced kayakers. We have an amazing kayak lead this year. So we will not have that issue again. Yeah, and that was one of the concerns for last year is we literally had people who may have showed up with like a Walmart kayak and no open water experience, and we were just happy to have bodies with a heartbeat out there. And then when they started going over, that was it. So yeah, I'm glad that everybody understands, and that honestly, that would have been it would have been a little dangerous last year. Um, Change tents, we had them last year, and we know maybe you guys did get to use them, but on the 4.4, there are hard bathrooms over there. That's where your change. But when you're done and you come over and you get hosed down by the fire truck and everything, we'll have three change tents with sidewalls and all that kind of stuff. We want you to change in there. There will be a male, a female, and a non-binary. Those are your three options. Go in the appropriate one, whichever one works out for you. Um, but we should be good with that. Like I said, March of Dimes will have subs. 1 milers, they will have. All right. Give me 1 second. I think I may have disconnected. All right. Somebody give me a thumbs up if I am back on, if you don't mind. Anybody? Okay. All right. Great. Thank you. Okay. Uh, Amy, if you use a pull buoy, you're going to be in the wetsuit category. Okay. I understand exactly what you're talking about, but a pull buoy gives you an unfair advantage with flotation. That is exactly what we were talking about with the if you use like that pull buoy for a kickboard and stuff like that. So no, there's no external aids. If you use anything like that, um, we're just going to pull you from the awards. So if you're not worried about the awards and that kind of stuff, but Amy, we're still going to have you. If you have a pull buoy, we're making you go over into the wetsuit category because it gives you flotation. Mark, great question. No one's asked that yet. 4.4 mile swimmers. You have 623 of you are going to be in the water. 623 of you will be in the water. That is the largest that we've had since COVID. So, and then 1 milers, man, you guys are consistent. There are right now 363 that are signed up for that. 363 signed up for the 1 miler. If there are any 4.4s that need to move down to the 1 miler, you can do that. You just send me an email at info@bayswim.com. All of those emails, that's me. So I'm the one talking to you. Which also means if you shoot me something, um, like 10 o'clock at night on Saturday, probably I'm not going to. Okay, M creaky. If we have a pull buoy attached, but don't use it for flotation, will also be just for safety or to store snacks. So you want to have a floaty thing behind you that you want to tie a bag to for snacks? Is that right? Um, so you want to use a pull buoy as one of the floats, as one of the swim floats. Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what, you can my yeah. Yeah, your floaters, like the the safety buoys, like the ones that you inflate with air. Yeah, we want you to use that for snacks and water and stuff like that. But they're talking about a pull buoy, like a neoprene, not neoprene, like a floating material. Oh, some buoys have. You know what? Fine. Where are your buoys? If you come in first, I'm going to remove you from the awards. How's that? Okay. If you come out of the water and you're in first place and you had a pull buoy between your legs, you're disqualified. Okay. Um, so yeah, fine. You can wear a buoy. That's fine. Do whatever is going to keep you safe. That's really what this is all about. Okay. Um, I will tell you if you wear lava pants, so lava pants are the neoprene shorts that do give you flotation, you are in a wetsuit. If you're curious about um, if your thing is a wetsuit or not, and you come up to me and say, "Hey, is this a wetsuit, like a neoprene top?" I'm going to have you put it over your mouth. I'm going to have you blow air, and if the air comes through it, then it's a textile material. That's fine. If the air does not, um, if the air does not come through it, it's probably Yamamoto neoprene. Hoo-hoo, fancy. And that is flotation, and you're going to go over in the other thing. Um, so some people are emailing me and saying like, "Hey, I want to switch from wetsuit to non-wetsuit and stuff like that." Don't email me with that. When you go to check in, you're going to walk up and you're going to say, "Hey, I'm Jason Chance. Here's my ID. Remember, here's my ID. If you have that QR code that we sent you earlier, then that would be great. Otherwise, you're just going to say, 'Hey, I'm Jason Chance.' They're going to type you in, and and they're gonna say wetsuit, and I'm gonna go, nah, I'm you know, nah, I'll do non-wetsuit today, and they're just gonna switch you right there. So you don't have to send it to me. You can make that decision on race day, which means you can go in the water and try it out if you want. Yeah, Lydia, I believe me, I understand, but everybody, like you just said, rescue buoy, and so for me, a rescue buoy isn't inflated. That's something that's on your leg, and you pull it, and it inflates. So everybody's got different words for it. It's fine. It's all good. Wear whatever is going to make you feel safe. Um, if a wetsuit makes you feel safe, you're going to be warm, but uh, but yeah, you you'll just be in the wetsuit category. So yeah, you're fine. Don't cheat. If you cheat, I'll take them all away. Take away all your toys. Um, all right. Let's see. All right, guys, we've been rocking for 41 minutes, which is great because it's been really good questions. And as soon as I say, "Hey, we're going to wrap up," and within like the next 4 minutes, then somebody's going to be like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, I just joined in." Um, This is going to be recorded. We will post it on the website, well, all that kind of fun stuff, um, so that people can go back and see. Um, we are super excited. If you were a 2024 person, that absolutely broke our hearts to have to do that. Worst day ever to actually have everybody on the beach. Um, but yeah, we learned from those lessons. That our kayak team, looking at the weather. I know 1:30 is not ideal. And I know some of you psychopaths, when I said, hey, we might have to start at 6 o'clock in the morning, we're super excited. That would have been a really lonely swim because all of our safety people and kayakers said, absolutely not, we're not coming out because they would have had to come at like 4 in the morning. So we wouldn't have had a swim. So we will have fun. We'll have a good old time. Registration is closed. Volunteers are closed. There's no new names coming into this thing. If again you want to change, um, no, Jordan, that fire truck comment's not a joke. That is how you will hose off. Um, we cannot go into Libby's. We can't. So Libby's is just a restaurant, so they're not going to have a shower anyway. They will have a hose. It's not a full blast, like knock you off your feet. Um, it's it's um it's how you're gonna hose off. So bring a towel, that kind of stuff. Um, Kendall, I know, I know. I'm glad that you guys respect it. It's still, as an athlete, it sucks. But anyway, we're good. Numbers are good. Most 4.4 mile swimmers that we have had for a long time. And those who didn't want to do the 1:30 swim this year, they will get the opportunity next year. They pay more, but they bypass the lottery. So um, yeah, so there's that. So all right. Any more questions? info@baseswim.com. Really, that's the best way to do it. You can hit me on Facebook, but Facebook is hit or miss. Um, and yeah, Facebook is hit or miss. So emails come directly to my phone, and I actually pay attention to them. So if you have any more questions, please let me know. Take a look at those assets that are at dayswim.com. Scroll to the bottom, look at the maps, kind of plan your day out. Definitely read Al Gruber's email, the Hammer reports. You gotta wait till I'm going to sign it off, aren't I? All right, so 1 mile swim. The youngest I see is 10 years old. Um, Um, yeah, when you guys send me an email and you're like, "Hey, what's the water temperature?" This is what I'm doing. I'm actually going online. 15 for the youngest 4.4. By the way, the water temperature is 70.3 degrees. Um, Mark Hannum, how long is the bus ride over from the Eastern Shore to the start of 4.4? About 4.4 miles. About that. Yep. Um, I'm just kidding. You want to know times. Um, 20 minutes. So that's why that last bus leaves at 12:30 and we're trying to factor in traffic and we're still waiting to hear if yeah, I understand. I was just being smart. Um, 20 minutes. And we're trying to see if State Highway is going to let our buses kind of shoot off of that Route 8 or if they're going to make them go up to like McDonald's and get into the rest of the traffic. We're hoping that they're going to be lenient and let our buses go through. That'll shave 5 minutes off of that time. But yeah, I would think about 20 minutes. I will tell you, so somebody mentioned it earlier, that, hey, they got the pass. If you're looking to park over at Sandy Point, um, please understand they have a reservation system. So you can't just roll up there. So if you want to go over there or try to get a reservation, you certainly can right now. If you want to just meet us over there. Um, the only guaranteed way I can tell you that you're going to get over there is on the shuttle. But if you do a reservation, that's why there are reservations, right? Um, so if you do a reservation, then you should be able to get on board over there. Okay. All right, guys. That's a long one. Okay. So that if you need anything, info@baseswim.com. And beyond that, guys, I will see and talk to you on Sunday. Okay? Talk to you later.